Isn't that beauty? So I decided today that it is absolutely impossible to try to film a video out on our front porch without having the sound of cars driving by in the video. I think I've restarted this video 8 times or so today, because every time I get going and I get talking and then a car drives by and I think, okay, let's just redo that. I'm not going to redo it anymore. If cars drive by, it is what it is. Hopefully they have mufflers, right? But I am out here today on our front porch. It's Saturday afternoon. It's about 2 o'clock. I've been out here for a good 45 minutes or so working on our garlic. We got some absolute beauties this year. Huge ones. A lot of small ones too, but some of the big ones are quite big. Rachel is gone this weekend. She is up in northern Michigan, up at one of her girlfriends has a cabin up near the Osable River. So they are up there this weekend. I think there was originally 3 of them all together, and I think a 4th one joined this morning. Yesterday they took a road trip yesterday. They went all the way up to Traverse City, Michigan, which is like, if this is Michigan, is like way up here, and went on a tour of a winery. There's a lot of really great wineries up there. And then I think around 6 o'clock or so, they met at a marina and went on like, I don't know how big this boat was. It had to be like 40, 45 foot sailboat. A sunset tour cruise out on Lake Michigan. So seemed pretty cool. One of her friends even like video called me while they were out there, and I got to watch on my cell phone Rachel steering this gigantic sailboat, which was kind of cool. But they take you out there and they like give you drinks while you're waiting for the sun to go down and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Our garlic's been hanging out here on our front porch for a good 3 to 4 weeks now. It's dried quite well. It didn't get rained on like we thought it was going to. But it's time for it to go in the house. We need to get it somewhere dark and safe where it's going to last, because this is some beautiful garlic this year. And I figured, well, Rachel's gone. I got some tasks to work on today. I might as well bring you guys along. We need to go out and check on the turkeys. They keep knocking over their water. Like, we just have like this pan for them for water, and they knock it over literally like 4 times a day, just like stepping on it. So we need to go out and check the turkeys, make sure they got water. Maybe I'll bring you along for dinner. I'm making something kind of interesting for dinner tonight, and then maybe this evening when it cools off a little bit, we'll go out to the garden and see if there's a bunch of stuff out there that needs to be harvested. So how about that, a garden harvest with Todd? I know by the time Rachel gets back on Sunday evening sometime, I just don't want her to come home and be like overwhelmed with like, okay, welcome home from your 4-day vacation. Here's a garden full of produce that needs to be harvested. Not that I'm gonna like can or preserve any of it, but if we can at least bring it in, and if there's tomatoes, we can toss them down in the freezer. And what else was I thinking of doing? Oh, a lot of that corn. We harvested all the corn. I can always go out there with my little rice knife and we'll get all those corn stalks, try to get them out of the garden and take them over, feed them to the goats. That's kind of my idea. So that's kind of what I'm going to work on. We'll see what we can end up getting to today. I guess I should tell you why, kind of some tips on doing your garlic this way. There we go. I'm bringing it in closer so you can see what's going on. So I cut all of the stalks off of them, anywhere between 3 to 4 inches in length. And you want to do that. If you cut it too short, if you cut it way down here, you run the risk of moisture getting into your cloves. So this having a longer stem right here kind of just gives better protection for moisture or sunlight or different things to get into where your cloves are and cause them to sprout on you. Because once they sprout, you're really not going to have much luck in storing them. So that's what we do with the stalks. And then with the roots here on the bottom, I'm just kind of coming through with my scissors and giving it a real nice short haircut, because this is another way that moisture can get in. And then if there's any extra dirt on there, we just kind of brush that off. And into the done pot it goes. Now, a couple things to watch for. If you come across any cloves like this one, so this one was damaged somehow. I don't know if we dropped it or what happened to this guy, but watch for things like this, and also watch for cloves like this, where the integrity of the shell has been compromised and all these cloves are exposed now. This will not store. So this needs to be set aside, just like this one needs to be set aside. And you need to use these ones up first, because they just won't store like this. So these ones, as I find them, I'm putting them in a separate pile. They'll go upstairs in our upstairs pantry and get used first. And the rest of them, where the integrity is all good, those ones will go down in the basement. It is warm, warm outside. So this is our 2021 garlic. A whole water bath canner full of garlic for the year, plus these ones. I only found 2 that were damaged like that, so these ones will just stay up here. The rest of these ones go down in the basement. I'm gonna see if Rachel has any of those like mesh bags we can put them in, and then we'll just hang it from the ceiling down there. But I was getting ready to head out to the turkeys to check their water, and I just saw something that I had sitting here on the counter, and I thought this might be fun. I went and visited our P.O. box yesterday. I had to run to TSC, gas station, a bunch of different places yesterday to do stuff, and somebody sent us a package. And we're kind of bad about that. Like, people send us stuff and we don't. Oh, hey. It's those like farming sleeve things. Rachel was talking about that when she goes out in the garden and she harvests up through the squash. And then her arms get all cut up. Somebody bought her some of those farming sleeves. How fun. So who's the somebody? Nastasia. I'm pretty sure that's how you say your name. And yeah, Nastasia from Michigan. Thank you. We get bad about that. Like, people send us stuff. Like, a lot of people sent us canning lids in the spring. A lot of people sent us lids. And we've talked a few times about sometimes like we should open up some of this stuff like on video, and we've never done it before. So, Nastasia, thank you. Just as I thought. pretty much empty. And nasty. For dinner tonight, it was some kind of eye of round steak that I bought from the store the other day, and it's sliced really thin. So last night I trimmed it up. I trimmed all the fat off of it and cut it up into like little tiny strips. I added some steak seasoning and some soy sauce, and it's been sitting there marinating in the fridge since last night. I had a couple onions. I'm gonna go out, and I also cooked up a small pot of rice earlier today after lunch and stuck it in the fridge. I'm gonna go out and cook myself some dinner, some Asian beef of some sort out on the Blackstone. And I'm still learning this Blackstone grill. We basically, so far, I think I've only made Philly cheesesteaks twice. So I'm still learning it. I'm not a pro. So I'm not really gonna do like, here's a how-to video. Plus, I'm making the recipe up as I go. And number 3, I absolutely hate and despise the sound of metal spatulas on a metal grill. I don't even like listening to it while I'm cooking. So my dinner is just gonna be a music montage. I'm gonna get the audio off of this and put some music on, and you guys can watch me cook dinner. And then when we get done, I'll bring you guys back so you can hear me again, and we'll taste it and we'll see how it turned out. Good. I'm glad I made a lot. I'll have lunch for tomorrow now. I got leftovers. You may have noticed I didn't use my rice. Our burner on our stove has one of the burners is like this big. And I used that today to cook my rice. Same way I always do, 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water, bring it up to a boil. When it starts boiling, turn it all the way down to low, set the timer for 20 minutes. Your rice turns out perfect. Not on that little burner. Whatever its low isn't low enough or warm enough to cook rice. So I ended up tossing a pot on the stove real quick, threw in some egg noodles. I'm glad I did. It actually turned out really good with those noodles. I know they're not very Asian. $1.50 bag of egg noodles from Walmart, but it turned out good. I'm still trying to learn the whole Blackstone grill. This is keep this burner off, so this is cold. I usually keep the other 2 on low. I've never cooked anything past low. Everything's always just low, and even low cooks pretty fast. So I'm still trying to work out the whole timing aspect of cooking a meal on that griddle. So it's been fun though. I'm kind of happy with my purchase, especially them Philly cheesesteaks. Man, I got them things down pat. I don't think I'm gonna target everything out here in the garden. I think basically what I'm gonna do is look for zucchini, because I know Rachel doesn't like it when they get like this big. She'd like some smaller. So I think we'll check for some zucchini and see what kind of tomatoes. Oh, that geet squash back there is looking really cool. And tomatoes is what we'll target tonight. The rest of this stuff, I don't want to mess up her system. Well, that's a nice size one there. A nice one. Section looks good. I just remembered there's a whole nother row in between these tomatoes of carrots. They still haven't been harvested. That's gonna be a lot. But we do eat a lot of carrots. I was just trying to figure out what the heck's going on with this plant here. This seems like weird. This tomato plant literally grows all the way up to the top of the thing, 6 feet tall. It's folded over and now it's grown all the way back down to the ground. So it's literally like 12 feet long up to here and then all the way back to the ground. That girl did something magical with the tomatoes this year, that's for sure. Yeah, that one was nasty. It was halfway grown inside the fence. All of these ones that are out here grew through the fence and they're just growing on the outside now, so they don't have any support. And once they get to the ground, they kind of rot. Green beans are coming along. They got a ways to go still, but this turned into a pretty cool little shady place that Rachel made here. Ended up with little more than 1 basket's worth of tomatoes. Oh, and there is 2 zucchini and a squash down on the bottom, so it's not all tomatoes. There's probably some more of the larger size ones that could be harvested, but I don't know. Rachel harvests them a little bit early, and I think I was scolded as a child helping my grandmother and my mom pick stuff, maybe because I'm always like, nope, it's not ready yet. Nope, not ready. Don't pick that one. It's not ready. For some reason, those thoughts or words are stuck in my head for some reason. I don't know where they came from, but that would be my guess. It's my grandmother or something. They used to go out on Saturdays or something to those pick strawberry fields and just flat after flat after flat of strawberries, and they'd take me along, and maybe that's where it came from. Don't pick it till it's ready. But with the tomatoes, you bring them in the house and they'll ripen up on their own. So getting close to 8 o'clock now. Whooped, hot. I'm gonna head in the house. We'll see you guys later.